Hello everyone, and welcome to my speed paint. My name is Aiden, and today I'm going to be painting a picture that I call Ascend. The picture was originally going to be for a scholarship to SCAD, Savannah College of Art and Design, but it turns out that that scholarship program was not for the junior summer program that I want to go to. It was actually for another program that I'm not going to be able to go to anyways. Anyways, right now I'm into sketch, and this one didn't really have a plan actually. I just kind of had an idea and went with it. That's kind of a trend with a lot of my art. I don't really have plans for most of them, and I just have an idea and go in and see where it takes me. One thing you'll notice about the sketches, there's a lot of different background elements in here that I don't put in, like the dust cloud and the little plants growing on the side of the right mountain, as well as the glowing hand thingies. I ended up not putting some of these in, mostly because I forgot or ran out of time, but I hope that you'll like the finished piece. Right now, I'm putting in the details on and refining the sketch for the, I guess she's like the lead, I don't know what you call her, the main girl here, the main focus. And I'm inking her now, so the ink was kind of a brownish red. I haven't been experimenting with different colored inks for a while, and in all these speed paints I've been doing different colored inks, and I really like how it looks, honestly. Different colored inks will give you like a little pop of color, as well as like just kind of differentiating it and making your art stand out, because most artworks are inked in black ink. Not that there's anything wrong with inking in black ink, it's just different colored inks sometimes make things look cooler. So we're finishing up with the inking right here, and you'll notice that I put in several details that aren't in the original sketch, like the eye. Originally there was 2 eyes in the sketch, and I just decided, you know what, we're going to give her that anime shadow thingy and make an eye out there. Now we're inking the creature, and I really like this creature. It's not as creative as some of my other creatures. Hopefully I'll be able to see those soon. But I really like how it came out as an interesting aesthetic. Kind of Lovecraftian, I guess. Yeah. Right here, I'm going into the background, just putting in some basic blues to purple to make a nice gradient. I guess the time of day that this takes place is like dusk. I wrote it down in a kind of story format description, which you can read in the description. Just a couple little things that I came up with. Also in the description, you can buy this piece in various different forms at my store on fineartamerica.com. Shameless plug here. So right here I'm playing with the outer glow effects. You'll notice I use this a lot. Specifically I use the rainbow gradient. I don't know why, it just looks good to me. It has a nice range of colors. And here I'm putting in the eyes in the background. I literally just did Control-T, Control-C, Control-V, and pasted them everywhere. And use the transform tool to make them different. Yeah. Right now I'm shading them, and The shading process was interesting because you'll notice there's like some weird glitching things going on. I don't know why that is, but it happened. So we're just kind of dealing with that. Now it's time to color the main girl character. She was a lot of fun to color, relatively easy actually too. So I'm putting in a base color I use her skin tone, and we're going to build up from there, all the different colors, by locking the layer and just coloring. Coloring can be really therapeutic, or at least I find it therapeutic personally. People find different things in art therapeutic, like the sketching or the inking. I like the coloring. Some people find it tedious and just use the fill bucket tool. I sometimes do that, but it doesn't always fill in, so I just color it myself. Right here I was playing with the line art a little bit, trying to get some cool effects. I'm pretty sure I just kept it the same. Now we're moving on into the shading. What I did is I took a light gray and turned on an overlay layer, and I just put in where the lights would roughly be, and the lights and darks and shadows and all that would roughly be, and put those in very roughly, and went in with the smudge tool, the wet blender smudge. Actually, I don't have the brushes in the description this time because I just used a bunch later on and I lost track because I did this over several days. So unfortunately I don't have the brushes. I also went in with a darker, pure black for the shading here. You'll notice there's darker shades. It's good to always have at least 2 shades of darks. I actually don't do too many lights for this one, like too many shines. But it's good to have 2 shades so that you can have a darker shade and a lighter shade if you want for more dimensionality or more emphasis on different things. Now we're going in to shade the background. At this point, I believe that Photoshop started lagging a lot. That's an issue I've been having a lot recently with recording, that Photoshop will lag. I think it's because it's because of the recording software I'm using, OBS. It's just taking up too much, I don't know, processing power, I guess. So we're going to figure that out for later ones. But what I did here was just shade them in with black and gray and overlay setting, and just kind of filled in where I roughly thought things would go. I used a little bit of color dodge and burn here and there, but not too much. They're really good for adding minimal effects. Don't overuse them. With all tools, just don't overuse them and you'll be fine. Okay, we just want to build up color and structure to give it a nice textured effect and make it look more 3D. Here we're going in and coloring in the creature. The little dog thing with wings, I ended up not doing anything with it. I don't know why I actually kept it. I don't know, it just doesn't seem too relevant. But here I'm going in with the light yellow and putting in the color for the teeth. Photoshop was really lacking here. hopefully it's not too noticeable in the actual video, but I don't know, Photoshop just lags so much for me. I'm pretty sure it's the recording software, because when I don't have the recording software on, it works almost flawlessly. When you go to fill in something, you want to always check that you only have what you want filled in. There's nothing like in the background or wherever. So I started coloring, adding in like some various, they're not really shades, they're more like tones. I guess they are shades actually. They end up being shades. And they're various tones, shades, little light thingies and veins. It's very, very technical terms. Just give it a nice pop of personality, I guess. If any of you have an idea for the name of this creature, or in like any backstory, feel free to leave it in the comments section. At this point, my tablet was lagging so badly that I had to resort to using the mouse, which was surprisingly not as bad as I thought it would be. Like, it wasn't perfect, but it wasn't too bad. Like, you don't get the pen pressure and stuff, but you can do a lot with the mouse, so don't underestimate the mouse tool. You can still create great art with it. So if you don't have if you can't afford a tablet, or whatever reason you can't get a tablet, you can still use the mouse tool. It'll take a bit more work, but you can make something awesome with it. Here we're putting in, I guess, like different tonal gradients. I love gradients, if you haven't noticed by the various videos where I just do gradients everywhere. But yeah, we're putting in some lights and darks and doing some tonal gradients here on the wings. Adding some nice shadows. The shadows aren't too noticeable, at least to me. They aren't too noticeable, but they do definitely like add a little bit of dimensionality to it. So I was noticing that the background was a little bit flat, so I decided to add in this mount to, I guess, make a vanishing point. I haven't taken an art class in a long time, but I was just playing around with different effects to. I didn't really want to do too much with it because I don't want it to make it pop out. That's the thing. You don't want you want your backgrounds to, well, be the background. I used way too many stars here, so always be liberal with how many stars and other stuff you put in the background. What helps is to like lower the opacity of the layer, and add another rainbow gradient over it. I think I turned it to an overlay or a screen. Just play around with the effects and see what you like best. Yeah. And this is the final product. I hope you enjoyed this video, and stay tuned for more art.